overwhelmed. This is an amazing day.
President Biden signing a law protecting gay marriage, the reaction from a local assemblyman at the White House. Plus, how the community responded after dozens of toys for children in need were stolen. And crypto con man, the allegations against a former CEO now facing criminal charges.
We are confident a storm is coming Thursday into Friday, but still lots of questions as to what type of everything you're going to get. We will talk about the latest thoughts on that in the forecast coming up.
From your breaking news and weather authority on Fox Rochester, this is 13 Wham News at 10.
A bill signed into law this afternoon that will ensure protections for same-sex and interracial marriages.
This is about recognizing the dignity and humanity of every person. And we should allow people to be able to love who they want to love.
It was an historic day for marriage equality. Good evening to you. I'm Matt Malloy. President Biden signing the Respect for Marriage bill into law this afternoon. It codifies protections for same-sex and interracial marriage, requiring states to recognize all lawful marriages, regardless of where they were performed. 13 Wham's Carla Rogner reports on the impact tonight. Carla?
Yeah, Matt, this legislation was prompted by concern that the Supreme Court could potentially overturn its 2015 decision to legalize same-sex marriage. That came after Roe v. Wade was overturned earlier this year. Some in the LGBTQ community tell me the signing today is cause for celebration, but it's bittersweet because there is still progress to be made. Eve Elzenga and her wife, Annette Dragon, celebrated their first wedding 25 years ago in 1997.
So our first wedding was not legal in the state of Maine.
Oh, but it was beautiful.
But
it was so nice.
But we had the wedding because of what it symbolized.
Marriage is important to the couple, so they celebrated a wedding every step of the way as the United States progressed toward marriage equality. Officially tying the knot in Canada in 2004 after same-sex marriage was legalized there. And finally in New York, in their backyard in Rochester in 2011.
We just like to get married over and over again. We like a party.
Now the Respect for Marriage Act ensures unions like theirs will always be recognized in this country.
I mean, it's another positive step, and that's all we can hope for. One step forward. We've seen the steps backwards.
Assemblyman Harry Bronson was at the White House as President Biden signed the bill into law.
I'm just beyond words. I'm overwhelmed. This is an amazing day.
Bronson got married to his husband about a year ago.
Love is love. And we need to respect that and honor that and celebrate it.
He's been advocating for marriage equality throughout his career.
3 decades. You know, I first started working on domestic partnership benefits and then fighting for marriage equality in New York State and throughout the country. Been doing this for 3 decades.
As have Annette and Eve, who hope the progress does not end today.
I just wish that that marriage was marriage, that a wedding's a wedding. You don't even have to put the word gay or lesbian before it or interracial.
And this law signed today does not require all states to perform same-sex marriages, just that marriages performed in other states be recognized in all the states. Those I spoke with today are still concerned that the Supreme Court could overturn its decision on marriage equality.
Nearly a year ago, Rochester welcomed in a new mayor, hoping for change and transparency. Tonight, Mayor Malik Evans looks back at his first year in office.
According to the best of my ability.
A new year ushered in new hope and a new mayor for the city of Rochester.
I never thought that I could bit off more than I can chew. I knew that we had major challenges.
One of those major challenges, Rochester's battle with violent crime. Something Mayor Malik Evans would face his second day in office when 14-year-old Julius Greer Jr. was shot and killed walking to a corner store. One of the moments he says was the lowest of his first year in office.
That, to me, showed me the first part of the year that this was going to be a tough year for us when you have that happen. And, violence is always a challenge in our city, but it's exacerbated when you see young people being a victim of it. No one should be murdered. But when you see kids being buried, that kind of takes the wind out of your sails.
As of December 13th, according to the Rochester Police Department's open data portal, the city would see 74 additional homicides. 7 victims were under 18.
Anytime you see young people's lives being snuffed out very early on, it should be a clarion call to this community, because we're losing future generations of people who could be our future mayors, future doctors, future lawyers, future electricians. So I believe that it's a clarion call, and it actually motivates me.
Another challenge the mayor says he's tackling is the city's vacant housing problem in absentee landlords.
We now have almost a zero tolerance in terms of vacant houses. We hired, for the first time in history of the city of Rochester, someone who is responsible for housing. We have the top 10 in every single quadrant of the worst offenders as it relates to building and housing that we are going after. So you're seeing that.
Redeveloping Rochester was another key component of the mayor's campaign for this first term, calling some of the projects developed under his administration one of his many highs.
For years, people had talked about getting the dollars necessary to fill in the inner loop, to reconnect neighborhoods that were basically ripped apart by urban renewal, which was really urban removal, and $100 million. Announced my second month in office that we were able to get from the state to be able to do that was also a major high.
And to get to know the mayor beyond City Hall, check out some web-only content where I fire off 10 questions to find out some of his favorite things.